Welcome to New York City, the city that never sleeps, where I know of at least one apartment where the nights sure felt endless. Welcome back to Bump in the Mic, where we talk about all things supernatural, paranormal, and just downright weird. And Clyde's got a special one for us today. He's got a personal story of a New York City apartment where, yes, he had some experiences.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's right. I was actually staying in New York for a schooling event, and I had to live there for about 3 months. And I was staying with a friend of mine. He lived in a nice apartment right in Manhattan, and moved in there. Everything was completely normal for, I would say, like a few weeks, and then out of nowhere, like I would be laying down because it's New York. It's a small apartment. So he has his bedroom, and then he's got the rest of it's just a living room and the kitchen kind of combined together. But he does have a pull-out couch. So I would pull that out and I would sleep on the couch. And all of a sudden, one night, we're on the 12th floor, by the way. I was laying there and I started hearing a tapping on the window. It's not raining, nothing's falling, nothing's like there's no birds on the windowsill. I just start hearing a tapping, and it would be like in sequence, kind of continuously. So it'd be like tap 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 tap. It sounded like somebody was just with their finger hitting the window that was right next to my face. I'm like, that's weird. So I started like trying to like look at the window. There's no birds. I'm like, is there like air conditioning, like condensation dripping on it? No, nothing. I'm like, whatever. I was like, I'm probably losing it. So I'm in. I just ignore it, and I'm laying there in bed. And as that progresses into like the next couple nights, all of a sudden I start feeling something press on me while I'm sleeping. So it would be like between my shoulder blades. Usually, I'd be on my side sleeping, and I would feel like the palm of a hand push into the center of my back, right between my shoulder blades. It would do like 2 seconds, and then release.
And you weren't like sharing a bedroom, right? Like this is just
No,
you on a
no.
pull-out
He
couch or whatever.
Yeah, he was in his bedroom. I was on the couch. And it would be the same thing every night. I would hear the tapping, and then so after that it would still the tapping continued. So I would still hear the tapping, tap 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 tap, and then it would stop for a while. And then I would feel a palm right in between my shoulder blades for a couple seconds and release. And I'm like, all right, I'm losing it. Because that's like my first thing I go through whenever I'm like experiencing something haunted. I'm like, I'm making it up. Like it's got to be in my head, right? So this goes on for a few days, and then one of the days, the guy in his own bedroom yells over to me. He's like, Clyde. I was like, yeah. He's like, I think there's a ghost in here. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I was like, why? He's like, I just woke up and the pillow next to me just lifted off the bed and dropped back down. I was like, okay, it's not in my head because there's no way I'm imagining it and then he's imagining it. And so I talked to him the next day. I told him what I was going through and stuff like that. And then it got progressively weirder. So,
How do you beat that?
oh God. So after that, it started flipping on electronics. So, like, you would be laying in bed and your toothbrush in your bag would just turn on. You would hear it start buzzing, and then like the electric razor in the bathroom, you would hear it come on and be like, brr. Oh, what? Anything electric would start turning on. If you had it in a drawer, a bag, the bathroom, it would just come on in like sequence. So super, super weird. Then he started. We hit another night where he would come out like every night at some point in time. Be like, "Why are you?" He'd be like, "What's going on?" Be like, "Nothing, nothing." He's like, "Well, you were pounding on the wall. Like, do you need something?" I'm like, "I wasn't pounding on the wall." And I
Damn.
couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't hear it from my side either. So like in his room, it sounded like I was going ham on this wall. But for me, it was just dead silent. So it kept picking up like that, and it would alternate things. Sometimes it would do the electronics, the razors, the toothbrush. Sometimes it would do the tapping. Sometimes it would press on you while you're sleeping. And then it got to the point where it's weird. So uh, at one point in time, we're all sleeping. Everything's completely fine. I'm laying down, and the lights flip on in the the main room I'm sleeping in, like the living room. It just flips on. And I got up. I was like, "What the hell?" So I went over and I knock on his door. I'm like, "Hey, did you just flip the lights on?" He's like, "No." Like, "Do you have a light switch in there for the living room switch?" He's like, "No." So I checked it out, and sure enough, he did not have a switch in there. The switch was the same one I flipped off when I went to bed that was over by the entry door. And they're like, it's not like electronic switches that could glitch. It's like a mechanical, like up and down. So I had flipped that switch down to turn that light off, laid in bed, and as I'm laying there, that switch defied gravity and went back up.
Damn.
And yeah, that ghost would do that as well to mess with us. It started flipping lights on. You just think you're trying to lay down, starting to get comfy, you're gonna go to sleep. No, absolutely not. Light would come right back on.
How long were you staying in this apartment?
I was there for 3 months, but it
Excuse
is
me?
actually funny because, huh?
Excuse me?
I was there for 3 months.
And how long after you started staying there did this happen?
It started about 2 weeks after I got there. Now, it did not occur for the whole 3 months, and that's what's weird. And
I'm,
the guy I was
I'm,
staying with swore that this never happened before I came.
wait, you said it didn't occur the whole time you were there? Like it didn't occur
No.
for the. So how did you experience it then? If you, it didn't happen when you were there?
Oh, no, no. It happened when I was there. I'm saying it didn't happen for the entire time I was there.
Oh, I see. I
So
gotcha.
it started about 2 weeks after I came in. He swore to me that nothing like this had ever happened before I arrived. So he blamed me.
Hey, I was
He's
gonna
like,
ask if he'd ever experienced anything like that because it's
no. So he blamed me. He's like, "You're bringing it with you," and I'm like, "Well, it doesn't happen at my house when I go home on the weekends." So I was like, "Unless this thing is literally waiting for me at like Port Authority, the bus station, at I'm not bringing it."
well, he
Like,
seemed pretty low key about it. Just like, hey, I think there's a ghost in here. Like that's a little suspicious. Almost like he's had this happen before and he just needed someone to blame.
it's possible, like, but that's what's weird. Like when I was saying it didn't happen the whole time I was there, it did stop at a certain point in time.
What changed? Like, obviously it stopped, but did you do something different? Did he do something different? Did you bring in a priest and douse the place in holy water? Like,
Well, I actually didn't bring in a priest, but I gave it my best shot. So, um, it hit a crescendo when it started throwing doors open. So, like, there's this the door to his room is this heavy metal sliding door that slides into the wall, and it's on a stiff track because they don't want it like breaking anything or moving. So like if you take this door with your hand and you give it a solid shove, but you immediately stop right after you shove, it'll stop about an inch after you stop pushing it.
oh yeah,
It's heavy. And I was sitting there when he has it closed because that's the door to his room. I get up for a glass of water at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, don't know why. I woke up. I'm thirsty. Went over to the kitchen, which is part of the living room in a New York apartment. Pour some water into a cup, start drinking it, and that door flew open. Like it went boom, slammed inside the wall. Like like somebody threw that thing open. And I'm sitting there staring at it. I'm like, set the water down. I walk over there, look into his room all the way to where he's sleeping. He's still sound asleep in the bed. I like look back out. And I actually called you that night. That was when I finally was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go outside
Yeah.
and have a
I remember that conversation. I was like, what the hell is happening in New York City right now?
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go outside. I think I sat down there and for like the first time in a long time, I think I chain smoked. Because I was just trying to find a reason not to go back up
Right.
into that
Just you
room.
and the doorman, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was me and the doorman and you on the phone. And I'm just sitting there like I was using like one cigarette to light the other. Like, well, I can't. I have to finish this pack before I go back up there. And I tried the next day as hard as I could to like replicate what happened. And there's just no way. The door was on a perfect track. Like it never slid, it never moved. Definitely not at that speed. And no matter how hard I shoved that thing to try to get it to fly into the wall like that, as soon as I would shove it and release, it would stop 1 inch.
Wow.
So something threw that door open.
So what did you do? You said you tried your recipe to try to mitigate this. What did you do?
Oh, absolutely. Well, after that, I brought my Bible the next time I came. And I started saying a couple prayers. I read one of the Psalms that's meant to combat evil, stuff like that. And I also just said prayers about, leave now, like go towards the light. I tried a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't know if it worked. There might have been a couple small things after that, but it did seem like after that it died out. So it did hit a point where it stopped. It didn't go any farther. And I was able to complete the rest of the schooling, get through it. Now I'm back home. Not my problem.
Yeah, it seems like if it had been your fault, you would have been experiencing it before and after, or certainly before.
Yeah, like
So,
I'm like if it's following me, like it seems like it would be like back at my house, but like the only thing that haunts this house right now is a cat and a dog.
yeah, right.
So
Well, I think it's your buddy's fault, right? He's just trying to find somebody to finally blame so he could like feel better about this thing that's actually been cursing him for years.
I don't know. He swears nothing ever happened like that before. And then he was telling me like there's some new people that moved in next door. He's like, I hope they're not doing something. I hope. I was like,
I
yeah.
I'm telling like his reaction about his pillow floating tells the whole story for me because that is not a person that's seeing a ghost in his house for the first time, right? Because like if that had been me, like that whole bed would have gone out the window probably with me in it. Like it would there's no way, dude. I'm not just gonna be like, I think there's a ghost in here or something. No.
Yeah,
Like
but to be fair, that's what you told me at the time too. Like, because I was like, "Yeah, I'm stepping out for a quick smoke," and you're like, "I wouldn't be stepping out for a smoke. I would be sleeping next to the guy at the trash can down like the
yeah.
street."
Like you staying there for 3 months blows my mind to this day. Like there's absolutely no excuse for that.
I've dealt with it before, so I'm just like, well, I mean, how bad could it get? I guess, like, I guess it's good it didn't get like crazy bad. And what's crazy is it wasn't. So I always tell people like whenever I experience like haunting stuff or paranormal stuff, I usually get a feeling. So like um I'll have to tell a story about like a good haunting I've had before where the feeling was like really really good, and then I like the story I told about when I lived in Pennsylvania, the feeling was horrible. Like you felt like whatever was there wanted to kill you. And this one was so odd to me because I had no feeling. I didn't feel negative. I didn't feel positive. I felt like I was just in a place and things would just happen.
That's I think that's more evidence that it wasn't you, it was either the apartment or him. Because if it's happening to you, like your thing in Pennsylvania, right? Like you feel it, you know, it's almost like a premonition, right, of something that's about to happen. But it seems like in this apartment, you didn't have any of that. You were just an innocent bystander to this happening. Is my take on the whole thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, was Clyde innocent in this? Like, hit us up in the comments. I think he was. Let's vote yes on this one.
Hey, Thanks, guys. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. If you've ever had anything like that happen, if you have similar stories, if you get feelings, let us know. We're interested to hear anything, and we would love to tell you guys stories. So please, please, please give us a follow. Shoot us an email with your stories, and let me know if you've ever seen, felt, heard, gone through anything like this.
Now, I'm just thinking, do you know how old this apartment building was or is?
That is tough to say. It is Manhattan, so it could be very old.
Right. I'm trying to think if we can find some provenance to it or something. Like, you got me like curious about it now. And I was back then when you called me that night and told me about it, but I didn't even
I mean,
consider looking up to it. But
we could look up the building. I know the address,
okay.
so we can always like look into it and see if
I don't
it's
I don't want to blast
old.
your friend's address all over the internet, but maybe offline, yeah, we can look that up, and if we find
Yeah, I
something
won't.
out, we can come back on as a part two or something.
hmm Yeah, I wouldn't throw it out on here, but yeah, if we find something that might something that's interesting, maybe somebody else in that building's reported something, maybe something else. It was an interesting time living there. I had ghost
Yeah.
experiences. I had a bunch of drunk guys in there that got locked out of their Airbnb, and I lockpicked the door. So it's a
There you go.
it's a great, just a lot of weird stuff going on in that building.
Incredible. That's probably just New York City as a whole for you too, though, right? Like,
It is it is, if you've never been to New York City or if you've never lived there, stayed there, it is an experience all its own.
absolutely. Well, I'm eager to hear more stories like this. I know Clyde's got a few more. I've got some more. So we'll continue on with regular episodes sharing tales like this. But like Clyde said just a little bit ago, we really just want to hear from you guys. We want to recount your tales. We want to dive into that. Um, do your research for you and see if we can find anything that might have been causing your experiences in the past or going on here today. Right. That's what we're all about here, Bumping the Mic, is just trying to find answers for the unexplainable. And sometimes we don't do a great job because things just don't make sense and maybe they're best left that way. But that's the ultimate goal. So, yeah, just go ahead and, just like Clyde's apartment, haunt that follow button, that subscribe button, hit the like, bell icon, like all that. You guys know what to do. We're not going to rehash all of it, but it sure helps us and we appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time. See you guys.